Let's see. We are live on all three places. What's up, guys? What is happening? I'm back. I'm back, buddy.
Bitches.
Yee. It's me and Chris right now. Possibly getting Drew in here at some point. I don't know. Haven't heard from him, so hopefully he either wakes up from his nap or, he's not dead in a ditch somewhere. But for all intents and purposes, guys, welcome to Garbage Time. Or welcome back to Garbage Time, I should say. I will be hosting today. And obviously with me, I have Christophe R.
Christoph R.
Oh, Christoph R. Okay.
So if you've been following along for this long, my name started as a C, and every podcast we have done on StreamYard, I have added a letter. Now I'm at Christoph
Oh,
R.
really? Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, no, maybe I started with Chris, but I added a letter every time. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, yeah, we should have a really good show for you guys. I mean, obviously it's back to football, guys. I mean, week 1 is upon us. We already had one game, but let's dive into a little bit of NFL news right now. So kind of the weird big story. Cowboys La'el Collins gets suspended for 5 games, and I don't really think anyone knows why. Did you hear about that, Chris?
No, I haven't heard any news on that, actually.
Let me see if I can find it here for you guys. But it happened a little bit ago. Here we go. Oh, okay. So
Was it?
said,
Oh, it was after the game, right? It was like right after the game?
yeah. So yes, he was suspended 5 games for a violation of the substance abuse policy. I didn't. At first, it just said he was suspended 5 games, and then you would click on the story, and like it didn't say anything. It didn't show that there was a reason why he got suspended. It just said he was suspended for 5 games. And usually, if they have like an ongoing story, they'll say this story is ongoing. We'll have more news, but it didn't. It just that's where it ended. So I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But
So I
guess
did
now
hear
we
different
have.
for that.
You did?
Yes, I heard that his test. I don't know what happened, but I heard the test came back positive during the game, so they let him play the game out and then suspended him. I can't remember where I saw it.
So I'm reading the article online right now. So it says that Collins was suspended from missing drug tests. So that's where it is right there. So he missed enough drug tests for them to be like, all right, well, you're clearly on something. Here's 5-game suspension. Like, all right, cool.
You just missed so many drug tests. They're like, we're gonna presume you guilty.
I mean, hey, that's the thing. If you miss enough drug tests in the league, they'll get you somehow.
Well, for a normal employer like you and I would have, if you miss 2, you are fired.
Oh, okay.
For the
Didn't know
NFL, you have to probably miss 15, and then they suspend you for 5 games.
Never knew that, but good to know. But yeah, so that was weird and unfolded. It kind of like it seemed like no one knew what was going on, and then they finally have the story at least today. But man, and this just ties into what we're going to talk about after the news. The Cowboys could be something this season, but if their players are going to go out and miss drug tests and all this kind of crap, they're screwed. They have a chance. They're in the worst division in the league right now. So, I mean, they have a chance to actually win that division. But, again, like I said, if they're having players going out, failing drug tests, or not even showing up to them and getting suspended 5 games, like, come on, seriously? How boneheaded can you be?
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we'll get into this later when we talk about the game more, but the team was not all there either Thursday, so...
No, they weren't, and I gotta say neither were the Bucs, but we'll get to that when we get, to the actual game recap. But
yeah,
well, moving on. So the Chiefs just activated Tyrann Mathieu off of the COVID reserve list, so he is going to be good to go, I believe, for tomorrow. I know James was hoping that he wasn't, but it seems like that's going to be the case. So the Chiefs get their top defender back in the secondary. Tough to swallow for James. Sorry, buddy. But no, I really think the Browns have a good chance for this game. I do. I think they can deploy a little shock and awe tactic and just kind of come out of the gate and really really run it down the Chiefs' throat, and then get a couple of those play action passes going through.
So for
We'll
me,
see.
that is like first game of the season. Even if the Chiefs lose, it's not the end of the world. They come back like, oh shit, we need to fix this. But for the Browns, it's everything. If the Browns can
Right.
win this game against the Chiefs, that is probably the biggest confidence boost you can have, and you can only go up from there. Almost, that's for a team like the Browns, who is without a doubt a playoff contender now, but they've been falling short by teams like the Chiefs, or certain situations where they have to play the harder teams. If they can beat the Chiefs, that confidence boost will guide them through the whole season, I think. So this is a must-win for them.
I mean, yeah, I don't really classify any week 1 game as a must-win, but I have to agree with you. Like, if the Browns want to prove that they are a contender, they have to beat the Chiefs week 1. They really do. I mean, you got to have some sort of fire lit underneath you from losing in the divisional round last year. And I wrote AFC Championship game, and I apologize for that. It's the divisional round where they lost. So, but
no, what's the divisional? They beat the Steelers in the wild card.
Then they lost to the
Yeah.
Chiefs in the divisional round, and then the Chiefs went on beat the Bills in the AFC Championship game. That's what happened. All right, well, there's not much other news pertaining to actual week 1. There are some contract signings, Hall of Fame people, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, today is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Never forget what happened, ever. And just a little... what do you even say,
Yeah, never forget. And let's try to be like the Americans following that tragic loss, and remember the selfless heroes and just take it in.
Yeah, I mean, it pulls right back into football. I mean, football was such a huge coping mechanism for victims and people that lost family members in that, and so, it's just nice to see that, the football community can still be a beacon of hope for people, and, really, just kind of help to heal any wounds that might still be going on from that. I mean, 20 years is a long time, but it's still, it still hurts, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I remember watching that Patriots game after it happened, the Patriots and the Jets, and they were in, I don't remember where they were, but...
They were in New York?
They were in New York. Okay. Well, one of their former guards had 3 brothers that were in the New York Fire Department. I don't know if you remember the story.
I don't, but I can tell you I remember certain aspects, running the flags onto the field, the game after, just the whole country coming together. And I think you bring a great point that sports in general can be used as a great unity. I mean, we can look at not that I'm taking off of September 11th, but something I personally remember is the Boston bombings and how Boston reacted after that. I'm pretty sure New York was exactly like that after the World Trade Centers. Just everyone at the game, holding an American flag and just stuff like that at that game. Players were running onto the field holding flags, all in unity and stuff. It just helps a lot of the victims. I know over the years, a lot of the victims' families and friends. Football has been kind of not a stronghold, but a good place for coping.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just wanted to give that little blurb, little speech there. Obviously, it's a very
That's the
important
most
day
serious
in
will be
American
for the
history.
rest of the day.
Yeah, literally. But no, it needed to be addressed. Obviously, it's a big day in American history. And in context of football, like we both said, it really was a coping mechanism for most people, is just to get their mind off of things. And obviously, us being Patriots fans, that was a special season for us, being the first Super Bowl that they had ever won. And it was kind of symbolic that, the Patriots win that Super Bowl that year after everything that had happened right at the beginning of the season, and with 9/11, all that kind of stuff. It was very symbolic for most people too, I found. But we'll move forward. We'll go on right from the news. let's talk about the first game, the first ever game of the 2021-22 season. That was the Bucs and the Cowboys. Chris, did you watch this game?
About 7/8 of it. I turned it off, I believe, midway through the fourth.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I missed the very end, but I saw the highlights of the very end.
Okay, well, I'll give you general takeaways from this game, and then we can really dive into the the meat. How old is Tom Brady? 44 now? Yeah. Okay, he doesn't look like he's 44. It's ridiculous. Cowboys fans, you should be happy. Dak looked good. Not that the Bucs have a strong secondary, but he played well enough should have won that game, if not for Greg the Leg. Fucking Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg.
Yeah. It was a really good game. I mean, it was an awesome first game of football. I mean, both teams definitely had a little rust behind them. And neither team really could run the ball all that well. It was definitely an air attack game. I mean, both quarterbacks almost combined for about 700, 800 yards through the air. Hold on. Oh, yeah, he did pass out. That's so funny. Drew said he closed his eyes for a second, then he passed the fuck out.
Is he coming on?
Yeah, he's coming on. He's coming on. Well, but yeah, so Dak threw for like 400 yards. Brady had 370 something. I'm going to go to the official stats and just give that synopsis as well. But I mean, for the most part, Chris, when you were watching that game, it was a good back and forth, right?
Yes, I watched almost the whole game up to the end of the fourth, and I mean, you could not say back and forth better. That's like the only definition that you can call that game. It was either, march a quarter of the field and punt, or march all the way down the field, and for the Bucs at least, get a touchdown or a field goal. For the Cowboys, it was more like miss a field goal.
Well, I mean,
returns.
And that's the thing too, is like that first missed field goal from Greg Zuerlein. I mean, that thing was just not even close. I saw a video of them doing the Madden animation for the kicking, and it was all the way to the left. Like, you can't even explain that one. That was just pure, just terrible accuracy on his part. Just plain and simple.
I don't know what was going on, but I'll tell you, for the first game of the year, if you're missing one, yeah, that's a bad look. If you're missing two,
yeah, that's
like you probably won't have a job next week if you don't fix it now. If you miss three, how you have a job next week is beyond me.
Exactly.
Especially from Greg Leg.
Well, that's the thing. He's never been prided on his accuracy. It's about his kicking power. I mean, the dude has a cannon on his leg, but it's not going to get you anywhere if they count on you to kick field goals, and the one that you miss loses you the game. So, I mean, it's just tough. But I got your stats for you, so we'll start with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott almost threw for 60 attempts. He had 58 attempts. He was 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. So Dak looked really, really good in this game. That should be very exciting for Cowboys fans. I mean, a healthy Dak is going to get you pretty far, but the rest of the team has to step up around him and perform if they even want to make it to the playoffs, let alone, win a playoff game, dare I say. So I'm trying not to arouse the Cowboys fans in our group or chat or whatever place that Cowboys fans reside these days. But that's a good game. I think the thing from the Dallas side of the ball is that they have a lethal offense. Like, if they can get Zeke going, they're gonna have a lethal offense. Here's Drew. Hi, Drew.
Sorry.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're live, so.
I know.
We're live.
Right.
I see that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, CD Lamb looked good. A couple of drops that were a little concerning, but if he's getting that kind of target accumulation in every game, then sign me up. Amari Cooper looked like a vintage Amari Cooper.
Amari.
Yeah, Amari Cooper had a big game. And Dak spread the ball pretty well. I mean, he was weaning on Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, but six Dalton Schultz 6 receptions, Michael Gallup 4, Tony Pollard 4, Blake Jarwin had 3. So he spread the ball out pretty well. And he was able to really just kind of solidify his game as a quarterback. And I think limiting his mobility actually helped him in this game. I mean, yes, they lost, but I don't blame Dak for them losing. Dak did everything in his power to make sure that they won that game, and they still lost. Seriously.
Well, it's just like last year, the beginning of last year before Dak got hurt. That offense has proven time and time again that they're fucking insane.
Yeah, exactly.
The defense is absolute hot garbage.
The defense is garbage, but this game was different. Like both defenses weren't great. Both defenses weren't great. And dare I say it, they picked off Brady twice. Not to their credit, but I mean, takeaway's a takeaway. No, but I mean, they win this game if Greg Zuerlein can make that field goal. That's it. End of story. If he makes the extra point, then we might be talking about a completely different game too. So, I mean, yeah, you got to put this loss on Greg. You really do. I mean, like, the defense wasn't good. That's fine. 2 takeaways and 29 points normally should be enough to win you a football game. Or we'll say 32 because they missed that field goal, but you get the gist.
Now, to bring that back into play Dak looked incredible to me. And
he looked really good. He looked
confident.
comfortable.
He's not afraid to leave the pocket. He's not favoring the leg. He's just all around spreading the ball. And that's what I noticed is the offense was hot, but Zeke looked more trash. But granted, first game,
Zeke
that's
didn't
okay.
look good.
But I noticed that the defense usually, like Drew said, is hot garbage. And they were not – they were pretty good this game. So if they can keep that up for the season, I mean, this is definitely a team to watch. And this is the rise of the Cowboys.
Their defense is not going to be a top 15 defense. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. It's just not going to happen.
Oh,
However,
God, no.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no.
God,
no.
no.
However, if you're a Cowboys fan, you need to rely on turnovers. The defense has to be opportunistic. If they cannot be opportunistic, then it's going to be exactly like last season. They need to get their turnover numbers up. If they can do that, then they can possibly score enough points to not have to worry about playing poor defense. But, I mean, it's not going to help them.
This is a game in which they won the turnover battle and still lost.
Still lost, exactly.
Because of their defense.
No, they lost
and
because
Greg
of their
Zuerlein.
kicker. They lost because of their kicker. Their defense got them the ball enough times where they should have won, and they didn't. So,
yeah.
Again, not a good defense. But if you win the turnover battle, you should be okay. And they should have been if Greg Zuerlein had made that field goal. That's it. End of story. It's just ridiculous. Like, dude can kick 65-yard bombs, but he misses a 37-yarder shank left. Like, what the fuck?
But that's like what we were just saying, though. Accuracy means power means shit if you're not accurate.
No, I know.
It's the same with baseball. No point in throwing 90 if you can't hit the plate.
Oh, yeah, good point. I know. I get it. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, both Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb looked awesome. Zeke looked terrible.
Now, again, first game, Bucs rush defense is really good, but Zeke just looked all around bad to me.
But
don't forget that the Cowboys' offensive line has gone through some pretty dramatic changes, and that certainly affects a running back. And like you said, against a really tough run defense.
It is a really tough run defense, but they only gave him 11 carries. They only gave him 11 carries that entire game. You would think for a back like Zeke, you would at least need to feed him at least 15 carries to try and get his legs going for the season. I mean, It didn't make any sense. They rushed the ball 14 times. They had 14 design run plays that entire game.
That tells me two things.
14.
Though. Two, one, it tells me that rush defense was in the proper position almost the whole game for the Bucs. Two, it tells me, and I saw the game, so I noticed this a lot, there were a lot of audibles called. I don't think Dak felt comfortable running the ball, and he felt that he could more spread it with the pass option. So I think that's something that definitely went into play when they planned this game out. I think their game plan was to try to limit Zeke and more spread the ball passing option.
Well, right. I mean, if you're playing the Bucs, you want to attack their secondary because their secondary has been weak, especially when Sean Murphy Bunting went down. That's a sign. You're like, yeah, go keep pressing, and it worked for them. It did, and 100%. But they're not going to play the Bucs run defense every week. So I get it. You don't need to panic on Zeke, but there's been a significant trend with Zeke in how the offensive line is formed around him, and he just hasn't been the same since his first 2 seasons. He hasn't.
I agree. He ain't eating enough cereal.
He ain't eating enough anything, especially that football. 11 carries ain't gonna do anything for you if you're Ezekiel Elliott or a fantasy owner of Ezekiel Elliott.
To touch base with the Bucs defense, my favorite thing was how they were celebrating after almost every incomplete pass or every turnover or whatever the case was. They gave up over 100 yards in penalties alone. And they are still acting like they were the best the league has ever seen. Every single stop, stomping on the ground, taking their helmets off, lifting their shirts up.
It's so funny watching that, Chris, because that's a Tom Brady-led team, and you would never see that as a Patriots fan.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's so weird to watch that.
Point, we talked about this a long time ago, but it proves the point that Tom Brady does not give a flying fuck anymore. No. Tom Brady is at the point where he's he goes on social media posting shit, dumb shit left and right now. He's doesn't care what anyone thinks. He is just off the rocker. He's celebrating more than he's ever celebrated. I mean, the things that he's doing now is just unheard of when he was on the Pats. And I think that when you have 7 Super Bowl rings and you are probably the best the league has ever seen, arguably the best, the league has ever seen, you can, at 44 years old, you can do whatever the fuck you want at that point.
Exactly. Well, this is a good transition, Chris. Thank you for bringing that up, because now we can get into the Bucs side of the game. Let's go over to Tom Brady's stats for the day. And I actually have a video that's going to accompany this, so get ready for that, guys. Brady went 32 of 50, 379 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw 2 picks, neither of which were his fault. I watched the game. Neither pick was his fault. The Leonard Fournette one, he literally just went whoop and popped it up right into Dallas's arms. That one.
Taps.
Don't blame. The second one I know wasn't his fault, but I forget honestly what had happened with that one. I was half asleep at that point, but that first pick, that Leonard Fournette pick on that little screen, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? What the hell was that? And it was really funny because they were talking about him and how he's oh yeah, Leonard Fournette's been way more comfortable with the football, all this kind of stuff, and then he did that, and it was well, what do you mean? He doesn't look comfortable with the football. He can't even catch the ball before he turns his head, and then he pops it up. What the fuck was that? It was ridiculous. I mean, I really don't even know what to say about that. But yeah, Brady threw 2 picks, but neither of which were his fault. Can't really blame him for that.
Honestly, I think in Brady's case, again at this age, the picks don't really matter if he's producing more than what he's losing. You know what I mean? So 2 picks is kind of in Brady's ballpark anyways. Between 1 and 2 picks is normal for Brady. And he still has, like you were just saying, he still has the numbers to back himself up there and fix it if it gets to a point.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Is that the picks don't worry me. The dude threw 379 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's sitting at 44 years old.
At 44.
44.
His first game.
Are you kidding me?
And he was recovering all offseason from a surgery.
So I'm gonna play the video highlight of obviously, again, this is Patriots time, but whatever. Fuck us. But I'm gonna play the video. I want you to point out where you can say Brady has lost a step. Go ahead. Go ahead and tell me where Brady has lost a step in this video, please. Please and thank you.
Was there?
Oh, awkward. That's the wrong one. Ah, whoops. There it is.
Fournette in the game here, 2nd down and 10. Brady in the pocket, fires a dart to Gronkowski.
That's a
Over
gorgeous
the
throw
middle.
over the back. Not the back.
In the pocket,
Gorgeous throw over the
off the
back.
spot.
Here's this deep ball.
There he is again, going
Right
deep down the
over
right
the defender,
sideline, and Brown is
on the
there
sideline.
to
I mean,
hold
that's
it
a
in.
gorgeous throw.
Antonio Brown, who joined the team in mid-year last year.
The unsung heroes of that championship season a year ago.
Big postseason.
Look at him in the pocket. He gets so comfortable.
Again.
It's crazy.
And that'll be a first down as they
So it's sort of interesting. They've almost come up with two different defenses.
will have success in this drive. And that pass is caught by Godwin for the touchdown. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went a rapid 3-and-out on their opening drive, this time go 94 yards, 9 plays, 2 runs and 7 passes.
What he was doing, all of a sudden he took off, and he really had a great year.
Nice two-headed
That one's a little low.
running back
Whatever.
situation.
So,
And
but
here
you
goes
can see his
Brown
back
again
foot slip.
Yeah.
to the 45-yard line. So Brown's season.
Antonio Brown also looks really good in this game. That's a little scary. If they have vintage AB with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, and OJ Howard still there, good luck. Scotty Miller is still a deep threat at you, Drew.
So I love this play because that ball was totally intended for Godwin. I think.
Oh,
Gronk
100%.
got caught
Yeah,
in the
Gronk just turned around and it was there.
Touchdown of his career, counting postseason 99 from the right arm and right hand.
Really better than what I'm watching in this practice, throwing this thing around, because he's so much smarter than what he was then.
At the age of
This
44,
throw here.
Brady steps up and
In stride. Gorgeous throw.
Touchdown, Antonio
Gorgeous
Brown.
I mean,
You know, you talk about
yes, we're
pocket
sucking Tom
presence
Brady
and
off
feeling
basically
he's got
right
everything.
in this
You can
chat,
feel
but
it coming
plays
from the side,
57 yards.
steps up,
I mean,
finds
like,
the open
seriously.
spot.
38 seconds.
Bingo. So the ball now at the 35. That's where
it's
Brady
just ridiculous.
starts.
He's 44. He shouldn't be doing this.
Fournette is the running
He
back.
still looks like he has it.
Brady
You notice
outside,
something
gets
different
to
about
the
him,
corner.
though? I'll bring it up.
What?
Gronkowski, who takes
Something I noticed with this
12
game
overall pick.
is
Bring it up after.
how in the pocket. Yeah, I'll bring it up more
Here they
after.
come.
Watching him
Throws,
play.
Off the back foot, accurate, right to Gronk, where he needs it to be. Leads him into the end zone. Again, like,
2nd down and 4. Under 9 minutes to play. Brady ducks away.
this was just ridiculous. I mean, come on, seriously.
I mean, he did lose a step there.
Come on, seriously. Of course he makes that throw.
Brady looking that way and fires that way, and it's going to be caught.
We'll go over that play
Making the
right
catch.
after we're done with this. Gonna go over that play with you guys right after
18-yard
this.
line he goes.
All right. So there's the video. So those are Tom Brady's best throws from Week 1. Please point out to me where you think he is losing a step, because I don't
Well,
see
he
it.
did lose his step when he fell. He lost his footing.
I will kill you when you sleep. I mean, seriously, like, it's ridiculous. At what point is he actually gonna start to look like he's 44?
I mean, do I have to show you guys my wall?
But we see your wall. We can see behind you. Well, anyways, so the
Brady.
play I'm talking about there. So
That sucks.
let's finish up the stats and then I'll go over that play. So Antonio Brown, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Vintage AB could be come and make an appearance this season. Like I said, you have a healthy, motivated Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and I could keep going
That's
if I
the
want
thing. Is you're adding any AB against any team's third fucking cornerback is
Right.
gonna be fucking lethal.
to. Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, he was pivotal in their playoff run last year. I mean, he did the dirty work, but like, if you're getting the original version of AB and you're adding it to Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, like, yeah, good luck. Brady's gonna throw for another 50 touchdowns
But
this
that's
season.
where they're
He's-
like Drew
he's
just
gonna.
said. That's
Like-
where the Bucks have it all figured out. Is you line those three up on the line, that third cornerback. I mean, AB can burn maybe even your second cornerback. You have him lined up on your third because Godwin and Evans are taking the first two. It's just a lethal offense.
That offense does not have a single weakness.
Running backs.
I was
very
going to
weak.
say Jones.
The running back situation, they can utilize that more in the passing game. If they're not a running team, they're not. They're just not a running team. So I'll agree with you. Yes, their running back situation is not great, and if they ever need to run the ball, they might be screwed. Ish. But we've seen how that's worked out for the Patriots in the past. They don't need those kind of running backs. If they rely on Brady, the weapons that he has, and they play to his strengths, it's going to be damn near impossible to beat that team. So, and this is year 2. I mean, you saw what happened in year 1. Yes, they won 11-5. They won a fucking Super Bowl. What are they going to do this year? Like, you know what I mean? Just another year that he has to spend with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk again.
Do you want an honest prediction?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think they're gonna go 11-7 and lose in the NFC Championship game.
All right. Well,
you think the Bucs are gonna lose 7 games?
I don't see them losing a single divisional game. So there's that.
I mean, I gotta look their schedule up because no offense, Drew. That's garbage.
I mean, we can go through that.
Talk.
We can go through what we think their record's going to be at a later point. I want to get to that play at the end of the game, that last play you guys saw on that Brady highlight reel. Jeez, I can't talk. That was the non-called OPI on Chris Godwin. I guess really depending on who you talk to. I'm going to play it for you guys here.
Push or not. Certainly got knocked to the...
If I have to hear Chris Collinsworth say push or not one more time, I'm going to kill myself. But here's the video.
Is there a push or not? Certainly got knocked to the...
All right, so I know how I feel. I want to hear from you guys, and then we'll kind of converse here. What do you guys think? OPI or no OPI?
No OPI.
As a referee, would have called OPI.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I 100%.
I can see where they did it. I can totally understand where they didn't call that. Because it was at the very top of the route. The corner was kind of on his heels, stumbling a little bit anyways. He didn't actually get his arm fully extended. There's enough there to not call OPI.
There's enough there to not, but in a situation like that, he gets his arm out right there. He's got his arm.
It's still not extended though.
It's extended enough where I would consider that a push.
My reasoning, and this is, we're gonna rewind it just a little. All right.
Yeah, go for it. You can go for it, Chris. Go.
Is this, as we see in the first, we'll slow it. That arm right there on his back jersey, that white glove, plus he's held in the front too. I'm not calling it a hold, but he has him surrounded by both arms. That arm stays in the back, and now it's touching his numbers. He's off balance. And yes, there's an extend. He did not extend the arm. There may be a little shove, but, I mean, the way he's turning, all his weight is not pushing off. He would have extended his arm if he was pushing all his weight off. Yeah, there's some weight on his forearm, but that defender is super off balance. You can see it right there. We haven't even pushed yet, right? Godwin's turning. Godwin's definitely turning to the right side, so all his weight is on that back leg there, not on his body up here. And that arm is still there. Look at that arm on the number. That's what's causing.
I don't really think the arm on the number had anything to do with kind of canceling it out. He definitely sold it a little bit. I mean, but here's my thing, Drew, is that when you watch that part right there, it's not the extension of the arm, it's the extension of the forearm and the shove to the neck that gets me. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, that should have been called. Because you really don't need a full extension of the arm. Because if you're using your forearm as leverage and you're pushing off with your forearm, he's still extending that to an extent. Maybe not fully, but I get that he's off balance. I understand
Yeah, but
that.
the full extension of the arm is the real indicator of it, because everything else is kind of just jostling for the ball.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's where I think this comes so much into play in the fact where, I mean, look at the scruffle from start to finish. They were in it, both hands on each other. Obviously, Godwin's number is being touched, and I think that's a sell for me that both the defenders' arms are around Godwin here. So now you
I
can
think
even
it was
see it.
just a physical play for the ball at the top of a route, and the defender was off balance. That's just really what it was.
I agree.
All right.
I mean,
Agree to disagree. I still think
Look,
I think
I'm
it
the
could have gone
first
either way,
person to try and find something against Tom Brady.
No, I
This
know.
ain't it. This one ain't it.
I mean, I understand. I get it. I'm going to agree to disagree. I still think that they should have called pass interference in that situation, but whatever.
So
it's
that's
not going to
where
change
we're going to
anything.
get into the thing is there needs to be a fine line, and that's the problem that we have. If
There's
9 or
never
10
gonna be. It's
times
always
this
up
was-
to how the game is going. I mean, like
Exactly.
there's no. It's all a gray area. I mean, it's always been. It always will be. Unless they bring in review for every single play, but they're never gonna do that because that would just kill the game. It would kill momentum. It would just. So it's always going to be a gray area. I really don't know how they fix this issue. Obviously, this one is not as egregious as, say, the Saints one 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever.
It's not particularly egregious, and you wouldn't even
No,
have
it's not,
noticed if
but-
it didn't happen on like the second to last play of the game.
I mean, that's fair. That's a
That's
good
the
point,
thing,
too.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though, is like, in situations like that, you would kind of expect them to like, almost do it and then review it. You know what I mean? Because you can do that, but if you don't call it, and you can't review it then call it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And this was also the first game, so that goes to my fine line point, and I agree with you, is that there can't be a fine line. But for the rest of the season, we're going to keep seeing this play whenever we see another controversial play.
That's true. That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
This is the standard now. This is the standard for the season.
Mm-hmm.
This is not pass interference according to NFL referees right now. So
And-
if we see similar plays throughout the year, and we're getting 50-50s, then it's going to be a really, really tough year for
Okay.
referees.
Now that's where we can start talking about issues. Is what
The
you just
inconsistencies.
said with setting a precedent and setting the standards.
Exactly.
It's the consistency that's the problem.
Right, and for me, like, if I'm a Cowboys fan, obviously I see that and I'm pissed, like, because I'm gonna agree with them. I think that in and of itself is pass interference, and I'll agree with Cowboys fans that are gonna piss and moan about that. That's fine. However, you can't say anything if it happens to your team, or the reverse happens, and you don't get called.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, and that just goes back into what I said, is that if they set the precedent, if that is the precedent that is set, and they follow that precedent, then you really can't be upset, because that's just how it's going to go this year. But if shit hits the fan, you say, okay, well, they might not have won that game if that gets called. Okay, that's fair.
See, which is why it's a talking point, though. Like Drew just brought up, and I'm sure this will finish your point, probably. Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good.
But
You're good.
if this was in the first 2 minutes of the game, and it was at the 50-yard line, and it wasn't in this last second, it probably wouldn't even be a talking point right now.
Right. No, probably no. Most likely not. Most likely not. But, yeah. Okay. So I mean, I guess that's a little debate for the show. But yeah, I mean, we'll watch out for any more PI plays that kind of like catch our eyes. Non-PI plays. I definitely think I want to do more video review with you guys. I think that's good. We can analyze it, break it down in real time. Thought that was pretty fun. But let's move forward, because we have a full slate of games for you tomorrow. So, obviously, week 1, full swing. Football is back. Whether or not you're rooting for the Bucs, the Cowboys, or just watching football in general, I think we can all say that was a success. It was a really good game, competitive game, and it was a great start to the 2021 season. So.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
first game to watch. It wasn't a blowout. It was down to the wire. It had everything we were looking for. It had missed field goals. It had interceptions. It had good defense. It had bad defense. It had good
Mostly bad
offense.
defense,
but... but yeah, it was there. Everything we wanted was there, including Tom Brady.
apparently.
Be
Well, yeah,
on our
we're
show.
gonna have to watch
Tom
out.
Brady.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to watch out and see what he does this season. Again, 44, just won his 301st career game. No, sorry, awkward. He just started in his 300th game. His 200 and I wrote it down. Hold on.
31st win.
Yeah, 231st win. That's what it was.
So that means he's only lost 69 times.
Nice.
Nice.
That might not be true if he's ever tied, but I don't know.
Yeah, but a tie doesn't count as a loss. He's only lost. Oh,
Right.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
but you see what I'm saying. All right, well, let's move forward. We're just going to talk about a couple games on the slate. There are some that, no offense, guys, we're not interested in, or not as interested in as these games. And I know the first one I have, you're going to be like, what? First game we're going to talk about here, just briefly, Jags-Texans. The shit show that is the Texans organization continues to baffle me. Continues to baffle anyone that watches football. I mean, Tyrod Taylor. Again. How many times is this man going to get a starting job only to get a lung punctured by a team doctor?
We talked about this, though. Tyrod Taylor has done so much for the fucking NFL. And continues
That's
to
the
go to the
point.
shitty team
I
as the
know.
starter, and then something happens, and he just gets obliterated. The poor guy.
I know. He really deserves better. He really does. But
And the Texans is not a good place to be right now.
no.
So I
No,
just feel so bad for him.
You couldn't pay me enough money to associate with the Houston Texans.
No.
I strongly agree with that right now. I strongly agree.
Oh my god.
When your best player is, I don't know, Justin Reed, you're not doing too well for yourself.
When your best player is literally in court for
Also fair.
13,
I meant on the field, but
19 lawsuits.
I thought it was like
Dude.
31.
No, it is not that high.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He had like 31, 35 accused or something like that. But
I would
we're not here to talk.
I would argue that Mark Ingram is their best player on the field.
Okay, I feel bad for Mark Ingram too. because
Mark Ingram made a
deserve
conscious
to go there.
decision to go to Houston.
Did.
That's fair. Very fair.
I mean, okay, that's fair. I guess I'll give it to Mark Ingram. I guess I really forgot that he signed there, which is just bizarre. But
He's number 2 now, too.
yeah, they'll probably have a pretty decent backfield. They have him, David Johnson, and Philip Lindsay. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, their backfield was absolutely fucking phenomenal 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I would pick, David Johnson used to be my first pick for running back 5
Yeah,
years ago.
2016, literally.
Exactly.
Literally 5 years from this date. But yeah, so other story on the other side of the field. Trevor Lawrence officially will start for the Jaguars. It's going to be good. I mean, we got a lot of rookie quarterbacks starting week 1. It's going to be awesome to see how Trevor pans out. I mean, I don't even know. 9-10 years, he's the highest ranked quarterback prospect coming out of college.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Drew.
Can you tell me who would have started for Jacksonville if Trevor Lawrence didn't start this week?
The boat. No, not really.
No, because Gardner Minshew got traded, so...
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if they weren't planning on having him start, they wouldn't have
no one-
traded Gardner.
Well,
Minshew.
you were saying Trevor Lawrence is officially starting this week. It was like, well, who else would it be?
Okay, what I meant to say is the Trevor Lawrence era officially starts this week, but
Okay.
I minced up my words. Yeah, the Trevor Lawrence era officially starts tomorrow against the
Yes, it
Texans.
does. Yes, it
So
does.
it's going to be it should be a good first game for Trevor, for the Jaguars to kind of, try to build on something nice there that they have right now.
The Jaguars to not jaguar everything up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jaguar.
I know. They had that one season in 2017 where they were like good, and then everything else is like.
You think Trevor Lawrence went out and bought a Jaguar when he was picked by the Jaguars?
All right, moving on. Next game we're going to be looking at here, Jets-Panthers. So kind of a double storyline here with Sam Darnold starting first game as a Panther, and he's playing his old team. So that should be fun. And then Zach Wilson is starting for the Jets. Zach Wilson era starts in New York. I'm excited to see what Zach Wilson's going to be able to bring to New York. I mean, he's got the weapons. Sorry, he's got the weapons in his arsenal to be, a good, if not great quarterback in the league. But it's going to be up to New York to fit him with the weapons that he needs to succeed in the league. So,
I'm not going to lie to you boys. I have the Jets winning this game.
Me as well.
Yep, you do?
But I'm more excited to not watch this game than I'm excited to watch it, to be honest.
I would absolutely love to watch this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good storyline.
A good storyline. Yeah. Good football. No.
It might be decent football.
You smash the over on it and call it a day. Oh, I was in New Hampshire earlier. I forgot to bet.
Yeah, probably smash the over. But yeah, I mean, it should be a good game. Christian McCaffrey is back. We get to see Michael Carter in action, most likely for the Jets.
Both of them.
What?
Both Michael Carters.
Oh, that's right. They drafted another Michael Carter, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Dude, I thought I was having a stroke when that happened. The Jets picked Michael Carter, and then they came back around and like the Jets also picked Michael Carter. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I didn't remember that happening, but
I was like,
What? He just cut off. He cut off. Well, anyways, yeah, that was Drew physically having a stroke after learning that there was more than one Michael Carter. So we'll move on. Yeah, literally. Patriots Dolphins game. It is Mac Jones time.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now. It was where you got cut off. Yeah, I mean, Chris, how are we feeling about Mac Jones? See the hat. I'm wearing it. I'm repping it.
Yep. Look, I'm going to support him, but do I feel this was the right move? No. But
I mean, this was a crazy-ass week for Patriots fans after Cam got cut. Crazy.
But the more that comes out, the more it feels like Cam was a long shot to begin with in Bill Belichick's eyes. I mean, I think Cam just did, from the more stories that are coming out, Cam just did one thing after another. And I think the COVID mishap was like, no, what we're not doing with.
The thing for me was that story that came out that Mac Jones was teaching him the playbook.
Was teaching Cam the playbook?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't hear about that?
No. What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real story. That's a real storyline.
That's priceless.
Yeah, so if he wasn't a long shot before that, yeah. So that story came out like right before he got cut. So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. Why would this why this story is just like random." But no, it wasn't. It was a precursor to what was about to happen, is that Cam Newton was going to get cut. Which was fucking nuts, but it's going to be a very exciting game. Obviously, it's a battle of Alabama quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa, Chris.
Can you say that one more time?
Yes, Tua Tagovailoa.
Where are you getting an N from?
No, we were when that mishap happened.
That's how they pronounce it on ESPN. I don't know.
It's Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa?
Yeah.
I was saying his first name, Zach.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, he was.
Look up his first name.
Sorry. Do you want me to say it? I could say it for you.
Try it, please.
No. I don't want to get banned from every social media platform. Yeah. So
Tua blank.
Is it Tua time? Realistically, though, is it Tua time, Drew?
No.
Is it Tua time, Chris?
The Dolphins will look nice, but I mean, to be perfectly honest, the AFC East has become one of those divisions where it's like, it hasn't been this competitive, I feel, in a long time. I strongly consider the Bills as one of the best teams in the AFC.
They're arguably one of the best teams in football.
Oh, I'll even say that, yeah. And Miami has its days. It has its good days. It have its bad days. And the Patriots are also refuse to be a rebuild team. They're trying to make these moves to stay in the league as a competitive force, which
Well, that's the thing. They're not in a position to rebuild. They don't need to rebuild. They have a strong defensive-sided team.
Exactly.
And they just needed to bring in some more offensive weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They did that for, I guess all intents and purposes with the tight end position, which was their weakest position by far last year. And we'll see how much that changes the game for the offense.
You have a Nelson.
Yes, we have a Nelson. I get that. The wide receivers are not good. I understand that.
Nelson Aguilar did some good stuff the last couple of years.
He did, but if he's operating as wide receiver 1, that might be a little scary.
No, it's Myers. Jacoby Myers. Oh, well, he had a better connection with Cam than he did with Jones.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. As far as the wide receiver position goes for the Patriots, I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that.
Either way, the Patriots they basically identified themselves. I cannot believe it's so funny to me because the running back core is so stacked, and they can make anything work with that running back core.
They have a very
if they need to throw running backs into wide receiver positions on the field, they can literally make that work and still have a passing and a run game. That's how stacked they are right now. They have their catching running backs, they have their running backs, they have everything that they need.
Yeah, for the Patriots to be successful this year, they have to be balanced. They can't. There's not one area of the football that sticks out as the best on the offensive side. Obviously, the wide receiver room is definitely the lowest on the totem pole. But they have to utilize every single position. Mac Jones has to be able to spread the ball out, and the Patriots have to be able to run the ball efficiently if they want to succeed this season. Plain and simple. I mean, there's nothing else to it. But let's move on. I got one more game on my docket. Oh, sorry, 2 more games. That's my bad. I got the Chiefs-Browns. I wrote the AFC Championship rematch because I'm an idiot. Obviously, AFC Divisional rematch where the Chiefs beat the Browns. Not by much. I mean, it was a good game. There were some things on James's side that, made him want to eat hot magma. But
Hot magma.
No, seriously, again, this should be a really good game. It should be an interesting one to watch and see how the Browns come out. I mean, I think a lot of people had their doubts watching the Browns last season. And, they're good, they're a good team, whatever. And then they get to the playoffs, and they're playing the Steelers. And, a lot of people had their doubts. And they came out, and they asserted themselves. They can be a divisional playoff winner this season. They can make it to the AFC Championship this season. If everything goes right for them, and I mean everything, they really have a shot at getting to the Super Bowl.
Facts. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs in Week 1.
I want to say they are too. I think you can catch Patrick Mahomes off guard, and like I said to Chris earlier, shock and awe tactic. Just pound the rock, run it down their throats, and then just have them on their heels. If that defense is on their heels the entire game, then the Browns have a legitimate shot at beating the Chiefs Week 1.
Oh, yeah, and I think the Browns should absolutely be coming out pissed as anything from that last
I would too.
meeting.
Oh, 100%. I would come out and just play angry football. If you can play angry football and just wear that defense down, they're going to win the game. They are. I have no doubt in my mind. If they can do that exact style of football, if they can play hard-nosed, downfield running football and just pound the rock with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, then they're going to be in good shape. Ooh. All right, well, I guess, and nothing really on the Chiefs side of the ball. I think Tyrann Mathieu is coming back. We mentioned that earlier, but I don't know if you saw that, Drew. So that's obviously that's their key piece in the secondary. So that's going to be a little bit harder for the Browns offense to manage, but we'll see how they fare. Last game on my docket here, and I'll give some shout-outs to other ones that are happening this week. I got Rams. I got Bears. Matthew Stafford is going to be debuting in his first Rams game on Sunday.
What a trash Sunday night football game.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
God, what
Agreed,
is this league
agreed.
doing?
But
I know.
also, I hope Rob has to watch only that game for the rest of the year and has to watch Matt Stafford do good.
Beat the Bears by 27 points, yeah.
What do you mean? Andy Dalton to the rescue, baby.
Yeah! Yeah!
Hey,
The
don't
story,
make him a hothead.
I just think the storyline of this game is why the fuck is Justin Fields not playing?
the starting line for this game is why the fuck is this the Sunday night game? When they were doing the scheduling, were they like Rams Bears? Yep, that's the game we want.
No, the real
One.
storyline is why the fuck does Matt Nagy still have a job?
That's also fair.
Also fair, but you have Chiefs
So
Browns
bad.
in this lineup at 4:25.
And how is that not the
Why
Sunday
would that
night
not
game?
be the night game?
How is that not the
Exactly.
Sunday night game? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. I broke my mic.
I mean, and even saying like even the Green Bay New Orleans game, that you could still say, yeah. I mean, like, that's also a better option than the fucking Rams Bears game. Like, what?
Yeah, we saw what happened the last time the Rams and Bears played in primetime, Zach. We were in Wisconsin.
It was a good game though, wasn't it?
It was not great.
It wasn't good.
It was not a good game.
I don't remember that. We were at a bar in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
was-
it wasn't
yeah.
great.
Yeah. What was the name of that bar, anyways? remember?
Wasn't it like Beer Bellies or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it was something weird. It was like right near the airport. But anyways,
It was right next to the hotel.
yeah. No, exactly. Right.
Where at Lambeau?
No, we were in Milwaukee. We were in Milwaukee. So a couple of other games I just want to mention. We don't really need to break it down unless you guys want to. Colts Seahawks. So Carson Wentz is good to go. So that should be interesting. But
Is he though? Is he though?
Yeah, it's,
I mean-
it's not interesting. He's not good to go either. One Seahawks defensive end. It's him.
I'm just reading you the injury report, man. I'm not telling you whether or not
Don't
he's
come
not
at
going to come out
me,
and break his
bro.
leg on day one. But
That man is going
I-
to die tomorrow.
yeah, it's
I
not going to be
agree.
great. It also doesn't help that Quentin Nelson's not
Do
there.
you think they up their
So-
first aid at games he goes to? Like
Um,
away games, they're like Carson
no,
Wentz
he
is
has a
coming.
per-
Another
he has a-
ambulance.
He has a personal medic that follows him around. Like, he pays for that. That's his insurance policy, is having
it's
like
in his NFLPA contract.
EMT
You must
on
have
dial,
a medic
on speed
that
dial,
follows
literally.
you where you go.
Oh my god. Yeah, so there's that game. That's Colts Seahawks. I mean, that should actually be a pretty good game. But I mean, we'll see what happens with Carson Wentz and see if he can stand in the pocket for more than 3 seconds before dying. Kyle Pitts debut for the Falcons. That should actually be pretty interesting to watch. I mean, that dude's explosive as all fuck. That's all I got for that one. I didn't even mention this one. This is actually really, really sad. But Steelers Bills. It's a 1 p.m. game tomorrow. Also could have been a Sunday night game.
Yeah,
It
but you want
could have.
to
The Steelers are not going to be good this year.
No, they're not. No. And I think they did the right thing in recognizing that the Steelers are probably not going to be as good as they have been in the past 3 years. Well, I mean, not the. You know what I'm saying? Like they're probably going to end up being worse than they were the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I really, I mean, they made a mistake. It's time for him to go. Big Ben needs to retire.
completely.
Like it's apparent. They're trying to force the ball down the field too much, and he just cannot keep up with it. He can't. I mean, it's just, it's honestly kind of embarrassing to watch.
And it's a
football fan.
distraction because he's inevitably going to get hurt in week like 3 and force someone else to take over. And it's like, dude, just fucking bite it and move on.
I know, seriously. All right, the 49ers-Lions game, that's a possible debut for Trey Lance. I'm not really sure what is happening with their quarterback situation. I don't think anyone does, really.
They don't know either. I don't.
I mean,
think
literally,
they
the
know
game's
either.
tomorrow, and they haven't named a starting quarterback. So we'll see. Maybe do they go into the regular season and use a 2-quarterback system?
You know what's interesting though is we talked about this. I think I talked to. I know for a fact I talked about this with James and Drew, but I definitely talked about it before with you, Zach, too. Is how dangerous the 2-quarterback system is for the whole team involved. imagine waking up Sunday, you get ready, like as a wide receiver or something. If you have more chemistry with one quarterback and you have no clue who's going to be your quarterback that day, even for the offensive line, even for, even for the defense, the leader of your offense is your quarterback. And you have no clue who the fuck is going to start for that game. That's horrible for team
I think
morale.
the point behind that is that
it
also affects the other team, and they can't game plan either way. I mean, they just have to game plan for a normal type offense. Like, they can't.
I'm sorry. If you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
Exactly.
No,
thank you. That's
I'm
going
to agree. I'll agree with you because it's just baffling that they haven't made a decision yet, and it's week one, starting tomorrow.
Oh, it's another situation where, in my mind, you just gotta go with Trey Lance. Because what are you going to do? Wait for Jimmy Garoppolo to either piss himself or get hurt? Like,
right, and that's the thing.
That's no situation to have a rookie quarterback waiting in.
No. I agree. I think that he looks like he can be game ready. You should go with him and do it like you had it with Tua. Like, you put Tua in. If he starts to show signs where he needs to come out, then you put in the veteran quarterback. Go from there. You don't start the veteran and then expect the rookie to come in like week 8 and just
save the day.
Yeah, and save the day. I mean, I don't think it's plausible. I don't think they should do it. I hope they're not going to do it. I hope we see Trey Lance start tomorrow against the Lions of all teams. So, I mean, you literally don't have a better team to play against, maybe the Texans, to start a rookie quarterback than the fucking Lions. So, if I was Kyle Shanahan, I would start him. Start him against the Lions. What are they going to do? They have no defense.
Agreed.
I mean, Jeff Okudah was supposed to be this friggin' top prospect, and he looks like garbage. So,
well, it's not his fault. There's nobody fucking around this man.
I know it's not his fault, but
still,
opposing quarterbacks have 12 seconds to throw the ball every play.
I know, seriously. Okay, so we had that game. What else we got? Packers Saints. I talked about that. It'll be interesting to see Jameis Winston tossing the ball. Drew, you're probably going to have a 7-pick game, so have fun with that one.
Yay, points.
Yay. Monday night games, Ravens, Raiders.
Another trash fucking matchup.
I get that.
I agree.
Just get that out of the way. You have to. You know what makes sense about that? You have to get the new Las Vegas Stadium out of the way. They've probably put in so much fucking money in.
The stadium was there last year too, Chris.
I know.
Yeah, it was the first time with fans.
Okay. That makes sense.
You're adding so much shit. They added the new hotel. They're adding like a whole new area over there.
Don't they call it like the Death Star or something like that, or the Black Hole? It's the Black Hole, I think.
Death Star.
Death Star.
I mean,
it's crazy. Like, that's an experience. Like, that's SoFi, and I think Lambeau are the three fields that you can legitimately say you have to at least go there once if you're a football fan.
I don't know. U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota looks pretty fucking nice too.
Also fair, but like Green Bay
and Mercedes-Benz Stadium
and Mercedes. Okay, all right. There's a couple of them, but I picked those. I picked the two newest ones specifically because of how friggin' ridiculously advanced they are.
Those are a level above.
Mercedes-Benz I get too. That one is also fair. But for Green Bay, obviously, we were there. We know
and
how
that was
crazy
that was
amazing.
Unreal.
But
unreal.
It's for the history. It's also for how crazy Green Bay games are and how fucking cold it is.
Green Bay in the middle of December. Woo!
Literally, like December 12th.
Now,
asinine.
Does everyone just have like giant ass puff jackets at the stadium?
No, like there were people shirtless, and me and Drew were sitting there freezing our asses off. Like, holy shit! People from Wisconsin are built different. Like, you have no idea.
Facts.
If you think it gets cold here, they are built different.
And it was a warm day.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was a brisk 12 degrees. It was like that was warm for the area.
A balmy 12.
Yes, I know. Oh god,
think of
nice
Wisconsin,
warm
I just
breeze
think of
brought it up to 11.
Hockey players and Eskimos. That's the only thing that comes to
There are
mind.
no Eskimos in Wisconsin.
No,
none.
Not a single one.
The point, the analogy was that people that can withstand crazy amounts of cold.
Oh, okay, not actual Eskimos.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So not Eskimos, but Eskimos. Got you.
Yes.
Got you.
Understood.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. All right, well, so that's it for our week 1 kind of preview going on. Obviously, all the games are starting tomorrow, but we had that Cowboys Bucs game last night. Oh wait, no, today's Saturday, Thursday night. Yes, Chris.
I just wanted, before we go any further, I do want to touch up on the Bucs schedule that we talked about with Drew.
Oh, okay, we can go.
How
Yeah, let's do it.
Wrong
let's
he
do it.
is because I'm going through the Bucs schedule. I think the most losses they can have is 4, and that's losing both games to the Saints.
All right, let's
They
go
have
through
an
it, Chris.
Easy. Okay, ready?
Chris, let's go through it. Ready?
Next week, Falcons at Bucs.
That's a win.
Buccaneers at Rams.
That's a loss.
Yep.
What?
That's a loss.
Okay, that's a win in my book. We'll count that as a loss. Okay.
Nope. You 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. That's a loss. You have to officially mark it down.
Count it as a loss.
And I'm going to tell you why I think that's a loss, because they lost to him last year. The Rams defense gives Brady fits, and he cannot. He doesn't do well against the blitz anymore. He's not that kind of quarterback. He has to get the ball out, and if there's a defender in his face within like the 0.5 seconds that he has to throw the ball on a quick route, he's screwed. So
Okay. We'll count it as a loss, okay?
and also Jalen Ramsey, but
We're 2 and 1.
All right, 2 and 1.
2 and 1.
2-1. Yeah,
Bucks at Pats.
that's a win. They're gonna
Yeah.
beat the Patriots.
Dolphins at
That's
Bucks.
a win. That's a win.
Bucks at Eagles.
Win.
Bears at
Win.
Bucks. Bucks at Saints.
Win. Come on, seriously.
Bucks at Washington.
I'm gonna give him a loss on this one.
Okay. 2 and whatever in 2. Two
I'm
losses.
7 and 2.
I think Washington is going to be a sneaky good team this year, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like
No,
they
accept
had
it.
they
That's
had
fine.
some sparks with Alex Smith and all the quarterback rotation, but they're going to benefit from having a solid, journeyman quarterback who can get the ball in where it needs to go, and have it consistently every week. So I mean, should be a
Okay.
good team. But yeah, I'm going to give them an L.
7 and 2. Giants at Bucks.
Win.
Bucks at Colts.
Win, because Carson Wentz is going to be on the IR by week 3. So
Week 3, that's
Bucks at
generous.
Falcons.
yeah, no kidding.
That's another win.
They're sweeping the Falcons. They're sweeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Bills at Bucks.
That's a loss. The
Yep,
Bills are
I agree
going
with
to
that.
take care of business.
Yep. Okay. So we're what? 10, 11 and 3.
Yep.
10, yeah, 11.
Saints at Bucks.
Win.
Bucks at
Win.
Panthers. Bucks at
Win.
Jets. And Panthers
Win.
at Bucks.
All right, I also didn't realize they were playing the AFC East this year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But their whole entire schedule. I mean, I will do toss up on the Rams. I'll
They're
accept
playing
that
the
one.
AFC East and are in the weakest division in football.
Second weakest.
Second
Yeah,
weakest.
second
They're playing the weakest division
Yes,
in football, and they're
yes.
in the second weakest
They're
division
playing
in football.
they're playing the weakest division in football, the weakest division in the AFC, and the second weakest division in the NFC. They're playing all those teams. Yeah. So,
And they
Point
came in
being-
second in the division last year, so they get to play
I
the
know.
Bears.
I know.
Oh
Literally,
my
their
God.
floor is
I know.
14 and 3. Their
Wait,
floor.
did you say they were playing you said Colts.
Yep.
They can't play the Colts and the AFC East. Oh wait, is that the extra game? Is
That's
it
the extra game.
Wait,
the
it's
extra.
fucking wait a minute. The extra game is interdivision
Yes. They were
Yeah.
adding, I believe.
or
Yeah, 'cause
interconference?
the extra game for the Patriots is the Cowboys
That's
this
wild.
season, I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yep, because they're playing the Patriots, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins. So that's AFC East. They're playing the Eagles, and I see the Giants and the.
And they're playing the NFC East. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. So,
You
Breaking-
could not have tailored an easier schedule.
and not to mention they just came off of a Super Bowl winning season. So you literally
Yeah,
just gave them the
their
easiest
floor
strength of
is
schedule ever.
14-3, and
Yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah, they have the easiest strength of schedule by far, probably. I mean, I don't know the exact stat, but
That's
just by
an
looking at those games,
Actual joke.
asinine. That's a joke. I know. That's what Chris, I get what Chris is trying to say, and like I didn't look at it before, but he's not wrong. This team could they realistically could go undefeated. I mean, like that's a joke of a schedule. It's
If
a
you
joke
catch
of
a
a schedule.
if you catch a bad Bills week, if you catch a bad Washington week, and you just get lucky with that. Who else did we say they'd lose to?
Rams.
The Rams. The only
The Rams.
the only test they have in their entire season is the Rams.
My dude,
Which I
I
disagree
could go
with
out
that,
there and
dude.
play quarterback for the Bucs this year and go 14-3.
I know. That's the point. Like,
Oh my god.
that's the point. And so it just brings me back to, if this is their schedule and Brady looks how he looked in the Cowboys game, I'm really sorry, Drew, but he's probably going to win MVP this year.
It's probably sexual assault to every other team
Okay.
because that he is going to. I'll stop there.
Yeah, let's not get into that. But I mean, yeah, and it wouldn't be of his own validity. It would just be the fact that his team is stacked and he's playing no other good teams besides maybe the
Exactly.
Rams.
You can't even say that, like, the Brady effect, because that is just an insane easy schedule, and
That's brutal.
like Drew was just. I mean, like you said, Zach, if he plays anywhere near where he played the first game, every game this week, every game this year, I mean, you're talking milestones upon milestones.
Yep. I mean, again, their true test is going to be the Rams. But, they're the team to beat. I mean, they are the team to beat. And the fact that they got paired up with such a fucking pussyfooting schedule, like, that's just terrible. What a fucking terrible schedule that is for anyone that actually wanted to see the Bucs get challenged.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, seriously. Anything else, Chris?
They actually are ranking the Steelers as having the easiest schedule.
Okay.
How?
I don't know.
They play the Browns and the Ravens
Oh, I'm
twice.
sorry. The Steelers have the hardest. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I got that wrong.
That makes sense.
Yes, their opposing winning percentage. Opponent's winning percentage is .574.
Who's?
I'm going to look it up right now. Strength of schedule for NFL.
Eagles have the easiest schedule.
Well, yeah, they're in the NFC East.
Okay, so the Bucs have the fourth easiest, behind the Falcons, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. So an NFC South team, so that makes sense, and two NFC East teams.
How does another NFC South team that has to play the Buccaneers twice in a year have an easier schedule than the Buccaneers?
So the Falcons are probably playing a
point.
team that's worse than the Colts for their extra game. That's probably why.
Oh.
That's probably what it is.
And they came in a worse place in the division, so they play like the Lions and shit.
Right. That's why. So again, that makes sense. But it's only by like 3 games, though, Drew. It's really not that big of a difference.
The Falcons, the Eagles, and who?
The Falcons, the Eagles, and the Cowboys have the 3 easiest strength of schedule, and then it's the Bucs. So the Packers have the 4th hardest.
Yep, that's accurate.
Yep. Teams went 147, 124, and 1.
Yeah, sounds about right.
For the Patriots, they're 19th, so they're tied with the Jets, I think, in strength of schedule percentage. But the records are different, which is weird. So I don't really. They're actually the Niners, the Jets, and the Patriots are tied. Oh, I see why, because
same percentage.
the 2 ties. Yeah, the teams that the Patriots are playing didn't have any ties. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so I mean, just looking at strength of schedule, too. I mean, it just solidifies that the Bucs are just going to be a fucking ridiculous, like, steamroll force bullshit, whatever you want to call it. It's just going to be ridiculous. Oh wow. Iowa's still winning against Iowa State. But anyways, you guys are anything else for our week 1 preview for the games tomorrow? Anything else?
No, what else we doing?
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Word.
We did our NFL news for the week. We did our Thursday night recap. Then we just kind of went over a couple of games that we wanted to talk about, and now we're here. Do you have anything else, Drew? Is there like something you wanted to talk about specifically that we missed?
No, I am good.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been the Garbage Time. It's been Garbage Time with BOTA. You guys know where to find us. We're on Facebook Live right now. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We are on Twitch. We have some videos up there. We are on TikTok.
We're gonna go record some now.
Oh, you're gonna go record Twitch?
Maybe.
Oh,
I've
possibly.
decided.
Oh, all right. We are on SportsMe. Go follow us on SportsMe. If you don't have it, download it. It's a great app. You can create battles and fight each other's arguments on there. Not a great way of describing it, but download it. You can check it out. See what I'm talking about. It's really fun. We are also on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Stitcher.
We're still not on that fucking stupid
You
app.
can fight me there.
Yeah, fight me there. I know.
Fight me on Stitcher.
Fight me on Stitcher. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Zach. For Chris, for Drew, for James, who's currently closing his brand new bar. Stay soggy.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks,
Bah.
Drew. Bye.
Bah.